Hey guys, I thought maybe now would be a good time for us to talk about seed saving. Right now, we're going to focus on peppers. Similar to anything you're going to do, you would do similar to this. But we're going to talk about peppers. I'm going to show you how we save seeds primarily. I'm going to show you, there is some different things we do, but I'm going to show you primarily our best way that we want to save seeds and how we harvest and what we do. So let's get you turned around here. So this is one of our isolation bags. As you can see, we got an entire pepper plant in here. Now this happens to be a Biquinho red. They're not big plants. For the bigger plants, you're going to have a bigger bag. You can see we have ripe and unripe pods in here. Now, if I needed more of these, I would go into these unripe pods that are mature, and I would look and see if the seeds were mature enough to warrant harvesting. But I am going to more than likely have way more of these Biquinho reds than what I need. So we're going to save what we need, which is going to probably be all the red ones, and I will also get into these that are orange. Now this is a red variety, they're just not mature all the way, but mature enough. But I won't be fooling with these green ones more than likely, because this will probably be a few thousand seeds here that we have, and that's going to be enough to take care of us for a while. Now you can see we just tore these up by the roots. Obviously we ripped the roots up. There was more roots in the ground, so a larger plant would have a much bigger root system than this, and we left a lot of these roots in the ground when we ripped it up. Sometimes we cut them off also. So here we go, beautiful Biquinho peppers. These are amazing flavor if you haven't ever eaten one. As you can see, we have a whole bunch. So I've got to get all these picked off of here, and I got me a bowl to work with. You don't need nothing fancy to save seeds, guys. I mean, it's just simple, not complex at all. You want to check and make sure that you got the right phenotype. Everything about your pepper is correct. You see, this one's starting to go bad, but it still has some good seeds in it because it's not rotten. And this one's starting to dry out, but we'll still have good seeds in it. And that one's still fine also. We'll get seeds out of it. That little bitty one, it's not mature, so I won't save out of it. This one will probably be fine, so we're going to go ahead and grab it. And honestly, this is going to be way more seeds than I think I'm going to need. We do sell seeds, so if you need some, you can find them on our website at adifferentchickfarm.com. And we also have an Etsy store. Our Etsy store will have seeds listed also. Beautiful. This won't be the only seeds we sell, but you need organic seeds that are isolated, as you see. Now, we do precaution people, because anybody that says their seeds are 100% isolated are probably not thinking about things correctly. Ours are isolated, as you see in these bags, which is going to keep 99.999999% of chance of cross-pollination taken care of. But I do know things can crawl up here in between. We tie these tight around this right down here, so the bag is real tight. But things can crawl up, and if things can get in, there is a chance of cross-pollination. That being said, I have only had that happen one time. At least I assume that's what happened. It could have been that the genetics of the pepper, because it was a modern pepper, the genetics may have went back to one of its predecessors. You do get some occasional genetics that pop up in your peppers from time to time. So don't always jump on the guy that sold you the seeds. He may be innocent. Then again, he may be lying to you. So you can watch our videos and see our isolation. We isolate more and more peppers every year. These are just plant bags that are used to protect your plants from bugs and weather, but they also double real well for isolating them. And there's other ways to isolate, guys. You don't have to do everything this way. This is just the way that works for us. If I needed a large amount of seeds, I would isolate whole rolls. Currently, we isolate 1 to 2 of each variety, and that way we try to be able to almost guaranteed, at least 90% guaranteed, that we get the phenotype that we want. And if something goes wrong with one of the plants, we've got a backup plant with seeds isolated in it. Now, it's not the end of the world. If it don't work out, we buy seeds. I've bought seeds from several places. I will tell you that refining fire chilies is a great place to deal with. I got no connection to Jim other than I consider him a pretty good friend. I've got to know him over the years and dealing with him, and he has taken good care of me. You may have a different situation with him, but I'm just telling you, for me, he's anytime I've had a problem, Jim's addressed it immediately for me. I've had some other seed suppliers that their seeds are not very consistent. They claim isolation, and 50% of their seeds are not what they're supposed to be. And then they make excuses for, oh, well, you know. And I happen to know, because we isolate, that if you isolate, that you're probably going to have a real good success rate. Like I said, it only happened to us one time that we didn't get what we had the year before. And I don't count that as a loss when that happens, because the thing is, usually that non-isolated pepper is amazing. We'll make seasoning, or we'll enjoy eating it, or we'll make a hot sauce, specialty hot sauce out of it. A lot of times people want the hot sauce again, but you can't produce it again. As a matter of fact, I have a recipe, a hot sauce recipe, that is Franken-apple, and it's one of our hot sauces. And the Franken-apple is, as you can imagine, an apple-based hot sauce, and we use super hots that are crossed with something that they wasn't supposed to be. So we're looking for a pepper that's got, we'll call it medium super hot heat, so 1 million to 1.7 million Scoville. I'm not looking for the insanity peppers in that recipe, because it's not what my customers are looking for in that particular recipe. So, but we found that the different peppers that we've used over the years doesn't seem to change the recipe enough that the customer cares, and we use that as a way to use those peppers that we don't sell to the public. We had a Bootnide cross a few years back that we saved seeds from a non-isolated pepper, and ended up with some really cool, very tasty, almost habanero looking peppers that were more on the heat range of a ghost pepper or hotter, but they were very smooth and red, so makes them look more like a habanero than a super hot because of the red color. And they made an absolute amazing hot sauce. So we grew off of those seeds for a few years, and was able to each year put out about 8 or 10 of those plants until we run out of the seeds that we had saved. And out of those 8 or 10, we would end up with about 4 plants, maybe 5, that about 50% that was that same exact pepper, and it was absolutely amazing. Worked out very well, and we enjoyed it until they were gone, and then we moved on to another variety. We intentionally plant some plants every year that are not isolated because it's fun, but we're talking about isolation, which is what we're doing here. So I'm going to finish picking these peppers, then I'm going to show you what I end up with, Then we're going to talk about how to actually extract the seed from the pepper and how to dry the seed and what you do from there. Alright guys, I have got all the little peppers plucked out of there. Let's show you what we got. That is a lot of Biquinos. This is just the red ones. Like I said, these are just unripe red ones. I picked a couple of the green ones just so I could cut them open and show them to you. Because there'll be some viable seeds in there. So if that's all you got is a mature green one, you know, and it's isolated, it's worth your time to try it out. See if I can do this one-handed. So, use something fancy here. Got just an old case pocket knife. See there? We have got plenty of mature seeds right there. There is nothing wrong with those whatsoever. Now you know more about them when they dry. This is tough one-handed, guys. See there? Let me see how many pepper seeds we got in each one here. Okay, so my little red one, which I could tell the green pepper was a little bit bigger, so odds are it was going to have more seeds. My little red one had 29 seeds in it. Now guys, that alone, 29 seeds, that alone is enough for my whole Biquinho grow for next year. Because I will only plant around 15 plants in the garden. And I may, since my wife, Tiffany, you see her in all the videos, she loves these things. So we may plant a few of these by our driveway. Maybe that'll keep her out of the pepper garden. Still on peppers. So, but 29 is plenty. If 80% of those make it, I've got more plants than I need. And that's out of one pepper. So the little green one had more than that. It had 35 seeds in it. So that being said, I got 3 here that I've already looked at coming out of that pepper that I doubt are viable seeds. And once you get to know a little bit, you'll be able to tell a little bit more about what's viable and what's not. It's not always a dead giveaway. And it's not always just because it's an unripe pepper. I have one right here out of the red one that my speculation is not going to be viable. Now, you can't always tell by the look of the seed. You can't always tell about it by anything. But let me show you a little something here. So, how you dry your seeds is totally up to you. And we do it several ways. We do them on plates, we do them in lids, we do them in cups. Let me show you. So this is just an old mason jar lid. And these are my isolated yellow ties. I did not isolate a whole plant. Wished I had her probably at this point. You see these really dark ones right here? It don't mean that they're not viable seeds. I'm just telling you from my past experience. Those dark ones are probably not viable seeds. These are going to be the higher quality seeds. And I will actually, on these that's really, really dark, unless I absolutely just need the plants, I throw them away. Now, that being said, I don't have a whole lot of these. So I probably will save all of these seeds and then seed them all next year and hope for good germination. I'd rather have a few empty holes because I will need 2 rolls of these plants in my garden, which is going to be at least 30 plants depending on where I plant them in the garden. So 30 plants, and you know, 1, 2, 3, probably 60 seeds there, maybe 70. And so I need to make sure I've got enough plants to work with. And this is a yellow tie. They're more orange. I've got some videos on these. They're more orange looking, but they're called yellow ties. And then we do an orange tie SSE. That's a real small but oh so tasty Thai pepper. Now, that's not the only way. Now, you see what I did there? Just very simply, I went down to the bottom with a piece of paper and wrote yellow Thai isolated. And I wrote isolated because we do save some seeds that are not isolated intentionally. So I like to keep those separate from my isolated ones. And then SRP, you can look at it there backwards on the bottom of this cup, and that's Sugar Rush Peach, and ISO is for isolated. So there's what I've got on them, and that's plenty for my grow for next year. And all of them look like very nice seeds. And this is non-isolated. The seeds are in the way. Let me do this the other way. Ah, these are peach wasp. So I didn't buy these seeds last year. This was a gift from one of my suppliers, a mysterious gift. And I didn't know what they were, and they grew out, and they're peach wasp. So this particular one is non-isolated, but I will grow these out next year, a whole roll of them, because I really like the plant. And see if I can't get one that comes out correctly, and I will isolate that one and then move on into the next generation with it. Now here I have got 2 of these, 2 complete containers. And now if I wanted these to dry fast, I would have put these in a plate, but I put them in the dehydrator with some other stuff that was dehydrating. And these are my Traveler strain jalapenos, my favorite jalapeno of the year. And so these have turned out very well. They dried very well. The seeds look gorgeous. But also I had a lot of these seeds, so I didn't have to worry about keeping anything that wasn't ideal. Now right here, this just probably didn't notice it when I was saving it, or I wouldn't have saved this. This is most likely not a viable seed. Well, if y'all can see that there. Let's get you over here. Right there, it's real thin. See the dark in the middle? And it's a really thin seed. The dark makes it bad to begin with, but then it's a really thin seed too. So that is probably not a good seed, and there's another one that may not be either. But you can see the majority of these are excellent, excellent seeds. So, and we when we send out our seeds that we ship, that we sell, we go through them and hand package them, and we look for stuff like that, and we try not to ship it. That being said, we always send some extra seeds. So if you end up with a couple that looks bad when you get in there, don't stress, because our packs are 10 plus, and you usually end up with 12 to 20 seeds. 12 is really the minimum we try to send. The only way I send 10 seeds is if I'm just basically out of seeds. Otherwise, you're going to get 12 plus seeds almost always. And on top of that, we also usually almost always send plenty of free seeds too. Sometimes you'll get 2 packs of what you ordered, because we want you to have a successful season when you grow. Okay, guys, so I showed you what we dehydrate in, and you can do that in plates too. We used for years. Now I'll probably dig them out and do them again this winter. We had some little bamboo plates that were from a leftover from a wedding for my daughter, and we've used those for years and wrote on them and marked them out and wrote on them and marked them out and just right in the bottom from with a Sharpie. And here's the Sharpies we use, and right in the bottom for Sharpie, and then when the next seed goes in it, we mark a line through it real good, and we write it down the next variety. Those plates are about used up, but we've used them for years, those little bamboo plates. And way more practical than a paper plate. But paper plate works also, like I showed you, lids to mason jars. There's lots of ways to do what you need to do. So hey, if you got any questions, comment below. I'll be glad to try to answer them. You can dehydrate like anywhere warm in your house. For me, and you don't want it to be hot. For me, on top of my kitchen cabinets is a great place. But right here is what we have got. 2 dehydrators up there and one down there. We usually use those. And set them on around 125 degrees and let them dehydrate until the seeds are completely dry. That it just works better for me than to set them on top of a cabinet and waiting and waiting and waiting. The fan there circulates the air and keeps anything from molding. Obviously, you can put them in a garage or whatever that's kind of warm and keep a fan blowing across them to help remove the moisture so they don't mold and keep the air circulating. But we just prefer to use our dehydrators. It makes life easier. But that being said, I did on top of my kitchen cabinets for years, and 1 or 2 instances that I had seeds mold. It's rare, and actually I think both seeds that molded were squash seeds. So I don't think I've ever had a pepper seed mold or even a tomato seed. So odds are I think you'd be fine doing it either way. But the dehydrator is just quicker, and that's how we usually do it. Alright, guys, that's where we're going to end this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, for more pepper tasting videos. We got some coming up. We're going to do some hot sauce videos. We're going to do some fermenting videos to add to the ones we've already got. If you haven't seen those, go back and look at the ones in our history. It'll really help us if you like and subscribe, though, and watch those videos. Give us a thumbs up on those videos. Share them with friends. Y'all take care. God bless. See you.